It is definitely spring in my house, and we are going to make some fun Easter treats today. So I'm glad you could join me. I'm just going to put all of you over here where I can see you a little bit better. Okay, I think we have this figured out now. Now, when I put you on my second monitor, you're right in front of me, so if you're talking to me, I can actually see what you're all saying, and that always makes me happy. So let's see if we can see who is here and what they're saying. And okay, so let's talk about Easter. Easter is Easter bunnies. It's fuzzy little chicks. It's all kinds of cute and wonderful spring happy things. It's also chocolate and sweet treats. And well, we're not going to do chocolate today, but we are going to do a sweet treat. And this sweet treat you can make for the kiddos. You can make for your grown-up family members. You can make for your husband or wife. You can make it for yourself. Okay, so the first thing that we need to make is meringue. Now, let's see if you can see. I'm going to use my mixer today because my mixer is a little bit faster and I don't have to have it right here by the mic. Okay, so I'm putting in about 3/4 of a cup of sweetener to start. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon-ish of cream of tartar. You don't want a whole lot more than a 1/4 teaspoon. And to that, I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of vinegar, white vinegar. And we're going to make nests out of the meringue that we're building right now. And because we're going to build nests out of it, and nests are not usually snow white, so I'm going to use just my regular brown vanilla today because that's going to give our nests a little bit of color. There we go. Now you can color this with food coloring. You can do whatever it is that you'd like to do to make it all pretty and wonderful. And then to that, I'm going to add 6 egg yolks, and I have a little bit of lemon zest in here, so that's going to give it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of color. And so we're just going to put that in here. Now typically I would get this in the mixer before I started doing this. Okay, but let's get this all mixed up, and that way I know there's nothing stuck to the bottom. Now, the reason that I did this way, just in case you're wondering, because I use powdered erythritol by Amson Naturals, and I am going to try and remember to put a link in there for you. But because I use the powdered erythritol, it tends to make a mess in the kitchen if you don't. Okay, just let me get this in here. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to put my beater in there. Okay, now we're just going to turn this on. And we're just going to let that go for a while. If this is too noisy, if you're here joining me today and that mixer is too noisy for us, let me know. I'm just going to move this over here, and hopefully that'll make the noise a little bit less. Now this is going to take a little while. That meringue, you want to make sure that the peaks in there are stiff and glossy and beautiful, and it does take a little bit. Now the other thing that we're going to do is just 1 minute. I thought I had everything where I needed it, and apparently I did not. Now the thing about it, using extra appliances in your kitchen is you have to have places to plug them in. So I just make sure that I've got all of this set up. I don't typically use this in my kitchen. Now I have 6 egg yolks in this pan, and to that 6 egg yolks, I'm going to add about half a cup of sugar. Now this bag of Aspen Natural powdered erythritol is getting a little bit empty. Okay, so we're going to add half a cup. Now you can see the powder coming off of this. And you know what? I think this is going to use up the rest of my bag. There we go. Huh. Oh, look at that. That's one more bag done. So that's in the trash. Now, to this we are going to add 1 full cup of water. And half a cup plus 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And I already have 2 teaspoons of fresh grated lemon zest in there. Okay, now we're going to turn this on. There we go. And we're going to take our immersion blender. This is just one of those things that you don't want to be without in your kitchen. I use this all the time, as you've probably noticed. Now we want to make sure that everything in here is really well blended, because we're making a lemon curd, and we're going to use the meringue that we're making to make adorable little nests, and then we're going to fill those nests with lemon curd. So it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and you're going to love it, I hope. Okay, now the one thing that I did not have in there, and this is really important because this is going to help our lemon curd thicken. We're going to put in 1 teaspoon of ground well. That well blended, we know there's no lumps in there, so that's a good thing. Oh, goodness, we're making lots of noise this morning. Now, the next thing that we want to do is make sure, now you can see that I was using my zester this morning, my microplane. We need to make sure that we have all of our dirty dishes out of the way. Preheat your oven to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I cheated a little bit for you this morning because I wanted to make sure that we could do this. So, before you got here, I already made a batch of this. Let's make sure that our lemon curd is just cooking away here. Now, how is your Wednesday shaping up so far, everyone? Okay. Now this is absolutely beautiful. Like that over there as well. Look at that beautiful meringue, and you know, this is just thick and wonderful and ooey gooey, and it's easy to make. It's a little bit noisy when you're doing what we're doing, but it really is easy to make. Now we need to keep an eye on this lemon curd. It needs to cook for a while. So while it's doing that, Okay, so do you remember what we put in here? 1 cup of water, 6 egg yolks, half a cup of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, plus 1 tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of erythritol by Amson Naturals, and that's about it. Now, you can see this is beautiful, and the cream of tartar and the vinegar in here really make this stand up well, and that's really important. Now, the batch that I made a little earlier this morning, I'm going to add my leftovers in here, and we are just going to mix these all together. And we're going to put them in a sandwich bag. Now, if you have a piping bag, that's great. You can use your piping bag. If you do not have a piping bag, don't worry about it, because I'm doing this the cheap and easy way. And one of the really nice things about doing it this way is when you are done, instead of having to wash it up, you can just toss it out. And yes, I do realize that's not good for the environment, but I don't do it every day. So don't beat me up too badly, please. And you know, I did a video a little while ago using the sous vide, and I had somebody make a comment that it looked really yummy except for all the plastic. Well, you know, we're only using a little bit, and again, we're not doing it every day, although I guess you could find a different way to use plastic every single day and make an excuse for it. But sometimes you just really have to do what you have to do, and when there's a way to cook something so that it is delicious and wonderful, you just make exceptions. And I am one of those people who, in large parts, my husband, good morning, Evelyn, I make sure that I compost everything, and I make sure that I recycle everything that can be recycled. Yep, that turned out beautiful. Okay, now we are just going to do this bag up. And so now I have a bag full of meringue. So, whoops, I'm not going to set that in our way. I'll set it down here. Make sure that we're giving this lemon curd a stir. Now you can see that it's getting foamy on top, and that is not even something to worry about. We can deal with that later.
Your meringue timer is done.
Look at that, my meringue timer is done. Alexa, stop. So, I'm just going to pull something out of the oven. Okay, so we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to take our scissors, wherever I put them, and in one corner of the piping bag, we're just going to cut a tiny, tiny little hole. Make sure that that little piece of plastic does not go onto your tray. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. You know, I remember years ago when I first started using parchment paper, Dell and I were driving truck at the time, and I used to buy my parchment paper in the States all the time because it was way cheaper down there. It was horrendously expensive in Canada. But now you can get it in Walmart and Costco, and it's way cheaper. Now, I want you to look at what I'm doing here. You make a small little round, like a round cookie, and then just using this little hole in the piping bag, we're just going to build up the sides. Now this is why this meringue needed to be so stiff. Okay, well, maybe that little sparrow was a little bit drunk. I don't know. Do sparrows get drunk? Maybe not. All right, so, and we're just going to do this all the way along on the pan. So you can see this is a little bit time consuming, a little bit labor intensive, but it's Easter time, guys. So, you know, whether you're going to be alone with, you know, just one or, not alone, but with one or two people, or if you are going to be alone, you deserve a treat too. Okay, so we're just cooking this, and it is coming along beautifully. Have to make sure we keep stirring it so that it doesn't burn. And we're going to keep, oh, and there. As soon as I say that, it starts really bubbling. Okay. So just go around the outside edge. And make sure that there are no holes in this, because you are going to be filling this with lemon curd after it's done. Now, I'm going to set this aside for, well, let's do a couple more. You can see how, pardon me, they are all different sizes and shapes. So, what is your family's favorite Easter treat? Is it part of Easter dinner? Now there's a hole there, going to fill that. Is it part of the dinner, or is it a dessert, or is it something they found in their Easter baskets from the Easter Bunny on Easter morning? Now keep in mind that these do not have to be perfect because they are birds' nests, and birds' nests are perfect because of their imperfections. So don't get too picky about them. As long as there are no holes in them, make sure that you take care of that. And then just keep going around. Now, as you get a little bit of meringue on the end of your piping bag, it'll start doing wonky stuff. So just clean that corner off. It's another bird that built his nest after going to a party, it would seem. Oh, that is looking beautiful. Okay. Now you can do lemon curd, you can do lime curd. I would strongly encourage you not to do orange because there are way too many carbs, way more sugar. And a lot of that sugar in oranges is fructose. And fructose is absolutely the most horrible kind of sugar that we can have. Now, you can see that this is taking a little bit of time. Now, my coffee this morning, what do I have in my coffee this morning? Sugar-free buttered rum syrup. No alcohol, even though it does look like a couple of my bird's nests were made by a drunk bird, but there is no alcohol in the Da Vinci sugar-free syrup. So, you get this done, and then we're going to pop it in a 225 degree oven for 45 to 50 minutes, depending on your oven. Now, not only depending on where the hot spots are and that type of thing, but is it a convection oven? If it's not a convection oven, and I think, you know, most people, whoops, okay, now we're just going to turn that off. I'm going to get this one done, fill those holes in, so this nest is going to be a little bit wonky too, but that's okay. And we're going to give this another stir. And now this has to cool before it can go into the little bird's nests that we're making. So I'm just going to set this aside for right now. I will finish this a little bit later. Actually, I'll maybe just pop these over here. Now these are the bird's nests that I did earlier. So look at how beautifully brown they are. Now when they come out of the oven, they might stick to the parchment paper. Don't worry about it. As they cool, they're going to pop right off. So that's nothing to worry about. You do need to make sure that they are not soft. They need to be dried right out. 225 degrees, not going to burn them. Now I also made some little chicks to put on top and some eggs to put in the nests. So let's see. Well, you know what? I am going to have to post a picture on Facebook because my other batch of lemon curd is just not cooled yet. So you're going to have to take my word for it this morning. Now, I want to talk to all of you about what coaching is and what coaching isn't, and how much I appreciate my clients. Now, since I'm not doing this while we're here, I'm just going to add this into my other batch and they can just cool together in the pot, and I'll get these done a little later. I do have to make sure that I get my meringues done so that they are cooked and cooled, and I will put pictures up on Instagram and Facebook, and yeah, we'll get all that done. So there we go. When I'm coaching people, it is not my job, and you don't want it to be my job, to be the keto police. And what I mean by that is, it's not my job to tell you, you have to eat this, or you can't eat that, or you must do it this way, or you must. I'm trained to figure out how to help you optimize keto for your keto journey. I can't make you do it, and I don't want to make you do it. I want you to do it because you want to. I want you to do it because your health is important to you and to your family. I want you to do it because you can. And I have clients that are absolutely dedicated to keto, and as dedicated as they are, occasionally they fall off. And then they get back on. And that's okay. It isn't about whether or not you have a misstep. Everybody has a misstep. Have you ever watched a baby learning to walk? They stumble, they fall, they get back up, they put a smile on their face after a tear or two maybe, and before you know it, they're running and they're laughing and they're having an amazing time. That's the same as a keto journey. It's about making an effort. It's about caring enough about yourself. Hello, Monk. I'm glad you could join us. It's about caring enough about yourself, your health, your family's health to make an effort. That's what it is. So when we're doing something like this and we're making adorable little bird's nests that we're going to fill with lemon curd and put some cute little chicks on top. I'll see how I can decorate those chicks up. We're doing something that, oh, thank you, Monk. Now these are going to be filled with lemon curd in the bottom, and they're going to have some cute little dudes sitting on top. So we'll have those for Easter dinner. Make sure, if you are enjoying what I'm doing, if there's something that I'm saying that's a benefit to you, please like it and follow and click and hit the plus sign and do all the things for all the stuff so that we can hang out together. I'm here Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Mountain, and I would love it if you could join me and invite your friends. I want you to be worth it for you. That's all. I'm not here to boss you around. I'm not here to tell you what you're doing wrong, because you're not doing it wrong. On cooking streamless. Streamless or steamless? For cooking? Oh, cooking streams. Sorry, I need to learn to read. Well, you have a cooking stream right here. And watch in the evenings. Every now and again I pop on Twitch. So I am, where am I? I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. I'm kind of all over the place because I want as many people as possible to know what they can do to help themselves if they're willing. If they're willing. And that's the thing. You have to be willing. Yeah, I am a little bit of a busy lady sometimes. Now, I have people popping in from several different channels at the same time, whether it's Facebook or Twitch, and I love it. I love hanging out here with you guys. I love talking to you about eating healthy. And, you know, I had someone come to me telling me about a new diet product line. And so buy the pills and the powders and the shakes and the, you know, drink this and swallow that and eat this and do whatever. And for the low price of, you don't need to waste your money there. Now, if you have more money than you know what to do with and you want to buy products like that, by all means, you're welcome to spend your money however you like. It's your money. But if you are on a budget, if you would rather save that money, if you would rather eat a diet that is appropriate for the human form that will bring you good health and save you a whole bunch of money, then hang out with me and learn how to do keto. I'm down 160 pounds. My type 2 diabetes is gone. My anxiety is gone most of the time. My depression is gone. And my depression and anxiety, I had no idea how bad they were until they were gone. I had no idea how hard I was fighting to keep my head above water every day until I was on dry land and I could see what was what. And that is the power of keto. If you deal with irritable bowel syndrome, if you have had or are dealing with breast cancer or prostate cancer, if you're dealing with heart disease, high blood pressure, there are so many health conditions that are helped or reversed by doing keto, by not pumping your body full of a bunch of carbs. And that doesn't mean that if you have a day where you fall off the keto wagon that you are a complete failure and you can never do it again. That's not what that means at all. It means you're human. And it means you need to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, give yourself a hug, look in the mirror and say, I'm worth it. And I hope to see you a little more often, Monk. I'm glad you joined me today. You are worth it. We all are. Now, this is what I have so far today. I'm going to have some of these on Friday morning at 10 o'clock, and they will be done so that you can see them up close and personal. Maybe I'll even have a few that I still need to fill. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you do your best to live your best version of this shining life from now until we get together on Friday morning. Put me on your calendar. Remember, click the things and subscribe and look for notifications, and I will see you Friday morning at 10 a.m. Thanks for being here, everyone. I